Welcome. This will be a single-player review of the 1978 arcade game Fire Truck. There will be no spoilers, and the game is rated E for everyone, so will this video be. And, I mean, I loved what other game I could get to work, so I guess this is a good place to start. I do have a joystick. This is a two-player game. I could not for the life of me. I literally tested every button on the joystick. Couldn't get it to work. At first I just thought, oh, but it's like local, couch co-op kind of thing. If you wanted to play it just on the keyboard, you could. Nope. I don't know. I'm only going to be able to cover half this game, I guess. Sorry. Anyway, the only part of this video that might not be rated E for everyone is the video recommendation I'm about to do. Since it's Pride Month, it will be themed as such, and it will be the video Why No One Can Tell You're Gay by Q-Word Collective. And yes, they spell out the Q-word because they're members of the community. I am not. I currently feel uncomfortable saying that word, even if I appreciate the value of a reclaimed slur. Anyway, so basically this is one of those games that right, yeah, I played this on PC today, just now, through the Atari 50 the anniversary celebration. And the yeah, basically, you pretty quickly have experienced what the game has to offer, but it remains fun. Basically, you have a fairly limited time. There's a fuel counter at the bottom of the screen, and you're supposed to get a high score within that amount of time. And you're driving a fire truck. You control the acceleration and turning of the left and right. And there are various things you'll want to avoid, like rocks, oil spills, and such. And I have to admit, I was a little bit surprised. If you do crash into something, you are supposed to just, steer away from it and keep driving. I kept expecting it to say, oh, you ran out of, you can't continue now, but it seems to be more the amount of time based on the fuel. And there is a horn, but apparently it serves no gameplay value. It's just there for fun. And yeah, just that is basically the gameplay itself. And it's hard to deny, it is genuinely quite fun to engage in. It's another one of those sort of gimmies, but I'm really glad that someone did go ahead and give us it, because yeah, a lot of little kids want to drive a fire truck. It's and yeah, not you don't even have to be a little kid. I once watched a president pretend to drive looking like a child, but then he usually does. Almost everything he does, says. Yeah. And let's see. Basically, so the camera is top-down, bird's eye view, which of course helps them simplify the what's it called? The graphics. You're only seeing, you know how a lot of games have two-dimensional graphics. This one almost has one dimension. But it works, and it allows them to do more. 1978, very limited technology, obviously. I'm just joking. I'm not saying the game is bad. It has a very low rating on IMDb, although the description sounds like someone mistook it for like an educational short film or maybe not short, but film. So maybe that's what people were downvoting. I know those frequently terrible. They're great MST3K and riff tracks fodder though. But basically, left, right, horn, acceleration, I think covers the entire, yeah. And right, also something that yeah, you have to hold down acceleration in order to be able to turn. If you try to turn without, it won't, even though the fuel might start lowering from right away, which, even if you're not accelerating. But I mean, I guess, yeah, the engine's running, so okay. And the let's see. Yeah. So it almost feels silly to even bring up atmosphere for a game this simple, but no, it genuinely did have me feeling like, you know, driving this fire truck through a city with obstacles that I had to beware of. And while the graphics are very simple, there is a lot of charm to them. And I try to distinguish between, when graphics are simple, like I was never confused about what I was looking at, and that is, frankly, I'd rather have simple graphics where that's the case than really complex ones that are kind of overwhelming. But yeah, I didn't really think there were any issues there. The sound design is very straightforward, but also good, gets the job done. Yeah, like you are, the horn and siren and crashing noises do sound, very close to the real thing. And yeah, it is challenging. I can imagine the co-op adds even more, both challenge and fun. But yeah, I enjoyed driving it around like that. And let's see. Yeah, so the following is not really a bug or a glitch, but I guess I'll put it here. So basically, it's there's not really a problem when you open up the menu and it just says, okay, so here's how the controls work for a keyboard. No issue there. But as soon as I plugged in my joystick to try to do the co-op part, it didn't say what button corresponded to start, even though it said for literally everything else. And that just really confuses me. I'm not even necessarily saying, I'm not sure that's purely a thing in this, but once again, I try, like mine has like 8, 10, 12 something buttons. Tried all of them. None of them seem to correspond to start. Now, yeah, they do a good job on the city. It immediately feels like, yeah, big city in America, which is, of course, a lot of the audience for, or player base for these live in big cities in America. And they did a good job on the level design. There was just enough of, like, having to make turns and such that it was, compelling. I felt like the game was asking something of me, not necessarily so much that I was like, oh, this is just like impossible to do. Yeah. Um, I can, it's possible that this would be higher if I could get the co-op to work, but as of yet, this is a 7 fires truckin' keeping on out of 10.